At least 1,600 civilians, including 244 children, have been killed in Iran, according to a U.S.-based rights group. Lebanon's health ministry said at least 1,300 there have been killed. In Israel, at least 19 have died, along with at least 50 in Gulf nations. The American death toll stands at 13 service members, with hundreds of others wounded. We have a number of reporters and analysts in place ready to go over all these new and developing storylines. Let's bring in MS Now contributor Inzamam Rashid in Dubai. So, Inzamam, of course, the U.S. military is still looking for its airmen. Does the cover of darkness give the U.S., with its advanced technology, the edge right now?
Yeah, well, Alex, look, there are two search operations happening inside Iran right now. Firstly, the U.S. operation, that is one of search, rescue and evacuate. The other operation is the Iranian military, but also civilian operation as well. That is of search, capture and detain, as both of these countries essentially look for this one person, one American fighter jet crew member of the F-15 that was shot down by Iran yesterday. Clearly, there is now a race on between Tehran and Washington to locate the whereabouts of this crew member, and in Iran's case, capture them and detain them, and in America's case, to effectively get them out of Iran as soon as possible. It's important this because this could very much change the course of this conflict. On one hand, if you have Iran effectively taking control of this fighter pilot, or whether it was the weapons system officer, then effectively Iran can use this as leverage, as negotiation tools in this conflict, and it will heavily land in their favor, keeping hold of this American citizen and this American Air Force crew member. And that will hugely impact how this conflict moves forward. And what's important is that the US managed to rescue one of the crew members yesterday pretty quickly after that F-15 was struck down. But right now we are, as you mentioned, in the night at the minute. It's 11 o'clock here in the Gulf states, and it's very dark out there, and particularly some of the remote areas inside Iran where this F-15 fighter jet was shot down. The terrain is very difficult as well. The Iranians have the advantage is that they know their home ground. And so when you've got people, particularly from the military out there searching, they're aware of their surroundings. The US, however, have got very strong technology, night vision planes that they can use to see if they can identify one of their own servicemen or women, to try and identify them and take them out of the country. We also know that Iran specifically asked for its own people to get out there and search for this American military person because they want to try and get them in their custody. They've offered a $60,000 bounty, essentially, to bring them to Iranian forces alive so that they can detain this person. I think, finally, it's important to mention what this tells us all about what's going on here. Well, firstly, it tells us that the president and his team are completely wrong when they say things like Iran has no anti-aircraft equipment left, or that their radar system is 100% annihilated, or that the US have complete control of Iranian skies. And on the other hand, finally, Alex, it tells us that Iran are completely happy and joyous over taking down 2 American jets yesterday and also targeting one of those Black Hawk helicopters. But tonight, very much, the search continues for this US aircraft crew member.